Lito, Averia. Supporter ng Mata sa Balota in 2016 ito. Kasamahan po natin ito si Lito. Sen.
Good morning to everyone, especially to the members of the media, our friends. Our continuing discussion on how to make the May 13 election honest, clean and credible, not to mention meaningful, because an election result will only be meaningful if the chosen candidates are truly qualified and will promote the welfare of the people once they occupy the positions to which they would be elected. That's a very important consideration. But the process itself of electing the candidates is equally important, because we cannot have a meaningful election if the process is tainted with irregularities, not to mention outright anomalies. Lately, we read in the newspapers and heard it over the other media, TV and radio, that NAMFREL, National Movement for Free Elections, which has been in existence since 1983, a partner of the Commission on Election to monitor, to help COMELEC monitor and provide the role of a watchdog, has declined this year the accreditation that COMELEC had granted through a resolution to the National Movement for Free Elections. So we only have PPCRB. Is there any other? So there's only one now. If I am correct. Yeah, the PPCRB. Can you define first to our guest? May I ask our guest, what is really the role of NAMFREL in the past election? And by declining this accreditation, what will be the consequence as far as NAMFREL is concerned, and maybe as far as the election process itself is concerned?
Ever since 1983, for the 1984 elections, we basically do, during the time, we did two things. One is poll watching, and the other one was the Operation Quick Count. Of course now, there's no sense in doing an Operation Quick Count, because our elections since 2010 have already been automated. So, we'll never catch up, as a matter of fact. So, that's not what we concentrated on in the last 3 elections. What we concentrated on more is what we call the random manual audit. Of course, when we do a random manual audit, we try to verify the results coming from the election returns that were chosen for the audit. We verify the contents against the complete file of the complete database of the election returns. But now, it seems we will not be given access to the database, to the election returns. And so we won't be able to check the veracity of the precincts that would be chosen for the random manual audit. So we said, what's the sense in doing that if we cannot verify if the precincts that were chosen are the correct, that we are being given correct election returns data. So that's what started this controversy when they said that we won't have access to the election data.
Okay, so that we can present the discussion in a clearer and easy to understand language. In this automated election system, the election return is produced by the vote counting machine. The voters put the ballot into the vote counting machine, and the vote is already being processed, counted within the machine, which we do not know. But at the end of the election day, rather at the end of election, the votes are counted, and the complete election return, which is the result of the election in that particular precinct, is produced by the machine, and that is what is transmitted to the canvassing board, municipal and city and provincial, and the national canvassing board. All right. To ensure that this process is clean and orderly, we will not go into whether the machine is counting it correctly or not. Okay. NAMFREL needs first the voters list for that particular precinct. If it is 1,000, the names of the voters in that precinct should be available. Why? Because you have to know how many voted actually in that precinct. We'll go this step by step so that we can explain this, and you can enlighten us on why you need those things that you said you need, which COMELEC is not clear whether COMELEC will give it to you or not. Okay, so you need the voters list. You need what else? Project precincts.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
Well, when you mentioned the list of voters, we also would like to get that early enough, because we want, in the past, that list of voters would be posted.
Yes.
For everybody to see.
Okay.
Because some of those voters in that list might be 12 years old or 13 years old. So the people should see that list so that they can verify if those are really legitimate voters.
But that's also already part of the rules and regulations.
Correct. But,
all right. But you still want to have so what do you want to have now? It's available according to rules and regulations. It's available, and it should be posted in front of the classroom or in the precinct itself. Outside of the classroom, on the wall, it is posted. It's already part of the rules and regulations. So what is difficult with you accessing that list, and what is the fear attendant to, even if you have that list, what else? What kind of list do you still need?
It's okay. That's fine if they post it early enough.
All right.
So that there will be time to take a look at it, to validate whether those are really voters in that precinct or not, whether they are legitimate voters.
Okay.
Because we don't know, they might be.
That's correct. I mean, that's why you have to challenge. There can be a challenge to the names that are listed in that list. all right? And that's according to the rules and regulations. It should be posted, I think, 2 weeks before the election date, all right? So what else? Assuming it's there and you can access, what else do you need to play your role as a poll watcher, or as a citizen's arm to poll watch? The objective is to ensure that there are no irregularities, or to record these irregularities, and therefore to challenge the result of the election in that particular precinct. What else do you need?
Well, let me comment on the voters list first. One of the projects of NAMFREL is to ensure that the list is clean. So we need the list early enough, earlier than 2 weeks. So we have volunteers.
The list
of voters. So we have volunteers on the ground who go around their areas of concern to verify the list. Sometimes they do knock on door to door to find out. They go house to house to find out if the voters listed in that list are consistent with the residency in a particular area. So it's ensuring that the voters list is clean. Now, what other information do we need? We need what is called the project of precincts. This is a list of precincts where the voters will go on election day to cast their votes. Okay. So in the since the automation of elections, what COMELEC did had clustered precincts, referred to as clustered precincts, and they're all nationwide. Now we need that list of precincts so that we can also prepare our system, so that we would have at least a reference point where, for example, when the election interceptions needed, we would know where they came from.
Is this project of precincts not yet available?
It has been made available to us, but it is in printed form, okay? Which will require us to encode the data, and that will take very long.
Okay.
It is available in electronic form. The COMELEC could have given it to us in a CD, for example,
yes,
so that we will just upload it to our system.
And COMELEC refuses to give you the soft copy.
Well, that not in so much words, okay, refusing, but they have provided us every time
A printed
copy.
A hard copy?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that we need is, for example,
So you're saying that it's very difficult for you to print?
not print, but prepare our system.
So that your volunteers can, otherwise you have to photocopy all of these printed copies of clustered precincts all over the country.
Yes.
How many precincts are there? 90?
About 90,000.
About 90,000.
Yes.
Have we not determined yet the exact number of precincts? We always say about 90,000 or more than 82,000. Is this not available, this information not available to the public, especially NAMFREL?
It is, the exact number is available, but I don't have it right now.
So it's available?
It's available.
Alright, so your difficulty is that without this soft copy, so that you can easily ensure that your system can you can craft your system so that you can do your job.
Yes.
Okay. So
And it's also easier to send out this information to our volunteers.
yes.
To just email.
Yes, these are practical hurdles that you think should be overcome.
Yes.
So that you can do your job as
Yes.
an accredited citizens arm of the Commission on Election. So what else do you need?
Well, the other things that we need, for example, is the list of voters, or the list of candidates and the contests. Again, these are data necessary to prepare our own automated system so that we can process the election returns.
Can you not access this in the COMELEC website or any other platform? Because, for example, the list of candidates for senators, this is available already.
That is available, some and
Congressman,
Yes.
isn't this available?
but we need them. We need also the ones at the local level.
Okay.
Okay, so that whole list, including the local level, is not available on the website.
So you're saying that COMELEC is making it difficult for you to have access to this information as to 18,000 positions at stake, for example,
Yes.
from senator
All the way down to councilors.
councilors, 18,000 plus, and
Yes.
then there are about maybe 400,000 to 500 candidates. I do not know. I'm trying to get also the list of candidates for all the 18,000 plus positions. You're saying that COMELEC will not give you this list of candidates?
That's probably not the exact situation, but it's not being made available. I don't know if it's in their website, maybe not. If it's in their website, then we can access those.
We can get some of the data from their website, like for example, the list of senators, the party list. Okay, we can download them, but down to the local level because our watchers are at the local level as well.
Yes.
So it's a heated contest at the local level. So our volunteers on the ground will have to be guided properly with the information.
Okay.
That's why we need those.
All right.
Now, so traditionally, we've been getting those data. In the past elections, for example, since we do not have the electronic copies of the project of precincts, our volunteers, our systems group, have had to validate and verify the accuracy of the information we're receiving from the transparency server. So we have to validate also with our volunteers on the ground. So that takes validating and verifying the data takes some time.
Okay, we will go into the transparency server
Yes.
later on. What else? So we already identified three set of information that you need. Number
Yes.
one is the voters list. Number two
The
is
project of precincts.
project of precincts, and number three is the
the
list of candidates for all the 18,000 plus
And,
positions.
yes, and traditionally, we've also been receiving copies of the election returns. Even before the automation of our elections, we received the copies of the election
Okay,
returns.
but that is post-election.
Yes.
The copy of election return. Are you saying that the COMELEC will not provide you a copy of the election return of the 90,000 plus precincts?
The resolution is silent on that matter. Okay. But our accreditation was issued by way of a resolution, by a draft resolution, granting us the conduct of the random manual audit, access to the 27th copy of the printed election returns.
Yes.
Okay. In the project on informing local and overseas voters and providing citizenship education. Those are the 4 items that we were accredited for.
Can you repeat that? Number one,
Random manual audit,
random manual audit,
access to the 27th printed copy
printed copy.
of the election returns.
But that printed copy is prepared also after the voting.
Yes.
Once I understand that there are 8 hard copies that will be generated. 8 hard copies.
Only total of 30.
Yeah.
8 and then
Yes,
another
8
22.
plus another 22. They are also hard copies.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And one
print
of
the
these,
first 8 and then transmit
yeah,
electronically, and then print the remaining 22 copies.
yes. So, you see, this is a very important discussion. And I just hope that the media will try to communicate this, and pinpoint what are some of the difficulties that will be encountered to make sure that there will be no question as far as credibility and honesty in the election are concerned. No. Now, let me go back to the election return. There are first 8 returns, hard copy, but these 8 returns will also be electronically transmitted already to the municipal canvas, city canvas, provincial canvas, and to the national canvassing board. Electronically, this is already sent. The hard copy is sent to also to the municipal canvassing board, to the city, to the copy of the with the treasurer's copy. So these 8
Copies are sent or are given to designated parties.
yes,
Okay, so for example,
and then-
the majority party, the
they are talking about the 8.
Yes, the 8.
Included are the political parties
Yes.
that are
Plus the accredited citizens are so
Yeah,
designated
alright.
to receive a copy. A copy
and
is
NAMFREL is supposed to be one of them.
no. The
PPC.
6th copy, I believe, will go to the PPCRB. That's in accordance
Okay.
with their accreditation.
All right.
Okay. And then there's a copy that's kept in the ballot box at the end of the day,
All right.
because that's turned over again to the city treasurer, which eventually gets to COMELEC.
Well, it's good to know all of this
Yes.
because in the whole scheme, knowing that there are 8 copies, and then after the 8 copies, 22 more will be
printed.
will be printed. You emphasize the word gas, will be printed, no? Which, theoretically speaking, is the same as the 8 copies.
Yes.
And you will, NAMFREL will get 27
27
of the copy. So, what's the problem with that?
What we would like to have is access to what the transparency server has, because that's in digital format. Because if we get 90,000 printed election returns, it's going to be difficult to verify the contents. Because we have to encode them. We don't have the capability.
Yes, but it's the NAMFREL volunteer, theoretically, that will be given copy of this printed election return. And I suppose the organization has at least 92,000 volunteers all over the country, unless you're saying that you do not have the 92,000 volunteers.
We used to do that. We would have so many data encoders. We have so many. We had at one time 500,000 volunteers. But now we don't need that. If COMELEC could only provide us with digital copies of the election returns, for example. In fact, we're only working to get some 50,000 volunteers. Well, pwede pa rin, because one volunteer can probably get from 2 precincts.
Yeah, covering a voting precinct or voting center. In a voting center, there are multiple clustered precincts. So it's a school. So a volunteer can probably just go around the different clustered precincts to collect the 27th copy. However, we also have to consider the technology available in the areas, especially in the remote areas. So some areas do not have the capacity or the technology to encode the printed copy. Okay. We have also instructed some of the volunteers, maybe they can take a photo of the election returns and they can be sent to us through the different channels, including, for example, social media, email, SMS, Viber, also different technologies. But that's, but the technology coverage of the Philippines is only up to about 60 or 70%. Okay? So not all volunteers on the ground will have ready access to the technology.
Yeah, but maybe it will take some time.
It will take some
But
time.
if the basic organization is in place, then at the end of the day, maybe it will take a week,
Yes.
a week or 2 weeks for all your election returns to be retrieved
Yes.
and to be consolidated in the fastest way that you can. All right, especially for the national positions like senator, because the attention of most of our people is nationwide is on the senator. So my question is, and I hope you will not be offended by this question. At the end of the day, people will have to rise to the challenge. It cannot be something that COMELEC will give just like that, as if it's like a bed of roses that you have to walk through. But at the end of the day, it demands organization to mount a poll watching activity. There are difficulties. They don't want to give you this and do that, although they're not certain they will not give you. Because you're just saying that the COMELEC resolution is silent on all of this. Have you filed a motion for reconsideration to clarify whether you will be given access to all of these things that you have been asking?
I believe one of our staff would have done that already, talking to, there'll be back channel talks regarding the availability of the data.
Because if I'm COMELEC and I'm not going to do anything anyway wrong, why will I make it difficult for this group? That's what I am.
We were hoping, as a matter of fact, and it would be good for the COMELEC as well to make the data available in the COMELEC website. But it looks like they're not going to do that. Now, we got a copy, the complete copy. We would do that for them, make it available in the NAMFREL website. But it has to be made available to us. In early, like a few months ago, there was mention that it will be made available in the website, and then all of a sudden that changed.
Okay.
And they said, no, that's not going to happen. So I don't know why. It's supposed to be available to the public.
Okay.
And it would help them.
Sen, I have a question. So the issue here is or the election watchdog, as they call it, is PPCRB, early bird, PPCRB, and lately, NAMFREL. Ngayon, NAMFREL is asking for this information in order for NAMFREL to perform efficiently the very duty that they volunteered for, which is actually to guard the sanctity of the ballots that will be cast this coming midterm election. Ngayon, ang sabi ng NAMFREL, parang hindi nabigyan yung request, napagbigyan yung request to make COMELEC to make this data available for NAMFREL. Question is this: itong mga data ba na hinihingi ng NAMFREL sa COMELEC, binibigay rin ng COMELEC sa PPCRB? Ito yung mga data.
Well, traditionally, yung election returns are given to the accredited citizens arm, and PPCRB would get those as well. However, there are certain data sets beyond the election returns that we are asking for access to. Now, since the elections has been automated, there are election-related data that is generated by the automated election system, which nobody in the public sees. Okay? These are what we call logs, or records of events that happened, for example, with a vote counting machine. So every time a voter inserts his ballot, no, into the vote counting machine, that is registered. Ano ba yung lock? Parang the lock is like a logbook. When you enter a building, for example, the reception desk or the security asks you to put down your name, your address, who you are looking for, your time in and time out, and then sometimes your signature. No? And that is a list, no, of yun yung log, that's the log. So in the machine, every machine that is used for this automated election has that similar log where all the events are recorded.
Including the candidates that are written by the voter on the ballot?
No, no. What is recorded in the machine, the vote counting machine, is the appreciation, how the machine appreciated the ballot. Okay? And whether a particular mark it is credited to a particular candidate chosen by the voter. What is recorded is the instance where the voter inserts his ballot, and there's another record that says that the ballot has been processed successfully. So those are two different incidents. Okay? At the end of the voting, we know that the Board of Election Inspectors, today they're called the Electoral Board, they also interact with the machine. So for example, the chairman of the Electoral Board would give the instruction to the machine to close the official voting period. That event is also recorded. Next is the generation of the printed copies. That is also recorded. No? Parang basketball, yung favorite example ni Gus. No? Naglalaro, shoot na shoot, may recorder ka din dun on the sidelines who had, like, sabi niya, 3 points si Mike. That's recorded. Nag-foul si Joey. That is recorded in the statistics. Ganon din yun. But the public does not see, when watching the basketball game, does not see that. Yung scores lang yung nakikita nila. But then again, imagine that at the end of the voting period, kung halimbawa, kung basketball game na, kung hindi natin nakikita, if we don't see the scores, and then at the end of the game, it says, oh, this team won, and this is the score. So you'd wonder how they arrived at the score, right? In the voting machine, everything is hidden from view. Okay? The only time that we will be able to see that is if we have access to what is called the log, and we can inspect the log to find out what happened. Okay? Like the number of ballots that were inserted, the counts of the votes, those are all recorded inside.
And that's going to help in detecting fraud if we had those data available to the public.
All right. Having said all of this, that there are hurdles that you think cannot be overcome. That's why you withdrew your accreditation. But you are still allowed to do random. Are you going to stay away from this May 13 election and not even conduct random audit?
No, we will continue to do what is expected by the public. Except that our source will not be, we'll have to look for other sources of data. And we have talked to other groups that may get access to the data. But why are they being denied us? But we could easily have access if they would only say that, okay, we're getting you access to the election data.
Okay, very simple. in random audit,
RMA, random manual audit.
you just compare what is the result of the electronic voting and the manual voting. Isn't that a big thing already? Because how many precincts will you audit randomly? X number, representative of the entire country. All right?
About 700 out of about 90,000.
And you will do it randomly. Even the selection of this process precincts
Yes.
will be at random. How many percentage?
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Yeah.
Maybe you can increase it to 2%, something like that. So what I'm trying to drive at is this. If at the end of the day, the most telling evidence, if there is something amiss in this election, is the electronic voting result is different from the manual count. This is a very big thing already to show that the election has not been honest and clean. On the other hand, if there's nothing wrong with the electronic and the manual count, then COMELEC can say, you see, there is no, why do you have to go through the rigmarole of the land, of auditing the land? I'm not saying it's not important, but to me, what is more telling is the result of the electronic voting and the result of the manual audit of the votes. This is already a big story.
Of course. There have been stories in the past whereby some people are saying that the results, election return results, have been received by the canvassing points, but the precincts have not sent the election returns.
Yeah, but that's another matter, Gus, altogether. That's another issue.
Correct.
What I'm trying to drive at is this, simple. Electronic, random, the result is 12-0 for the administration. The result of the manual is 8-4 or 10-2. To the public, that is very clear, the discrepancy. The other problem, of course, is there is an early transmission, or what is transmitted to the canvassing board is different from what was released by the vote counting machine.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's another matter altogether. But this issue of comparing electronic with the result of the manual audit, that's a big story, and that is where that will be more telling. But another cheating is electronically transmitting from somewhere else during the lull. That's wholesale. That's wholesale. We should guard against that. And
Illegal
NAMFREL should is wanting to guard against that, no? And other things. But to me, it's already a big deal. If you can do random audit, the electronic result and the manual, because in the protest, this is what is going to be actually examined. What's the result of the electronic voting and what is the result of the manual count? Ultimately, in the protest, especially in the local or even national, the basis of the resolution of the protest is the comparison between the result of the electronic and the actual manual count of the votes. So to me, that's a very big thing that NAMFREL can still do under the circumstances, even without this lag, all this soft copy of the election return nationwide and other things that you may require, like the list of voters, soft copy, so your system can easily digest all of this data and you can come up with results as well. But to me, random audit is also a very important activity in this poll watching.
Definitely said, no? And in relation to what you're saying, no? The logs and all this other data that NAMFREL is requesting is exactly the instrumentalities that NAMFREL needs, no? To make them perform better, no? You know, this is based on the principle of transparency. And when we talk about transparency, innovation is almost tantamount to that, no? Because if we have new technologies that will help in the transparency of the activities, then we welcome all these things. Now, talking about the random manual audit, this particular audit basically said is in the automated election system law. It is included there that as part of the implementation of that law, there should be a random manual audit na gagawin. Now,
by the COMELEC itself.
that is my question actually. Is the COMELEC, under the automated election law, supposed to do the random manual audit? Or is it an independent
It's a
group?
team, and the chairman of the team is normally the citizens are like NAMFREL. But it's a team, it's the COMELEC, but there are other people involved. So that's how it works.
Now, because of the fact that you have returned, rejected, some people will even venture the word boycotted, no? Pero venture yun, venture. The accreditation, no? Ano mangyari ngayon sa random manual audit na kailangan talaga na gawin para makakomply tayo sa batas, the automated election law? Ito.
I'd like to say, under the law, it doesn't pinpoint who has the responsibility. Okay. But if you look, if it's an election law, the primary responsibility is with COMELEC to implement the law. And therefore, COMELEC, in so far as the random manual audit is concerned, has the primary responsibility to conduct it. It had invited third party. In 2010, 2013, it was PPCRB.
How is it structured? Who
There's
calls the shots?
There's a random manual audit committee,
Yeah.
okay, that's constituted by...
Who chairs?
Well, in 2010, 2013, it was chaired by PPCRB, okay? But the COMELEC had participated in that committee as well,
As a member?
as a member, yes. And then in 2016, ganun din, no? It's a similar structure.
PPCRB.
It was NAMFREL in 2016 that did the
2016.
random manual, participated in the random manual audit. And then at the precinct level, there are what we call the random manual audit teams. Okay? In 2010, 2013, and 2016, the audit was done at the precinct level. Okay, at the precincts, basically. Okay. For the random manual audit in 2019, the audit will be done centrally. In other words, they will do the selection randomly. The law provides one precinct per congressional district. So there are about 725 congressional districts. 725 of those ballot boxes will be transported to a central location in Manila, where the audit per precinct will be done by different teams. No? And then they will consolidate the report, the results. I agree with you that the random manual audit is a crucial measure of the accuracy or credibility of the results. However, the random manual audit results
Post.
the post.
It's post. Meaning
Yes.
after.
Yes.
If after the proclamation even, probably. of
Yes,
the-
it doesn't stop the proclamation of any kind of different.
That's the difficulty.
That's the difficulty. Also, the manual count will never match the electronic count because there's a difference between the human appreciation of the marks versus the machine appreciation of the marks.
Is there a margin of error acceptable?
25%, there's is called the 25% threshold. The problem is, how will the human eye determine the 25%, whether it will pass, the mark will pass as a valid vote mark or not?
So which will prevail, the manual or the electronic?
It's still the electronic count prevails, except that in the random manual audit, we come up with the accuracy rate of the manual count vis-a-vis the electronic
Is
count.
there anything in the law that says that it is the electronic result that will prevail?
No, there's nothing in the law that says that it will prevail. It only says that if there's a significant error, then it will result into a manual count. Okay?
So if there's a manual count, then will it prevail over the electronic count?
The law is silent. You cannot overturn the results.
But the way the election protest is being handled, it is the manual count that will be that will prevail.
Yes, and that's also one, because the electoral tribunals or even the courts consider the count as the most telling evidence. But like I said, there are events that are recorded by the automated election systems that we don't see.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. Okay? There have been anecdotal reports, na kwento-kwento lang, chismis bayan, that pre-shaded ballots, even recently there was a video that was posted, pre-shaded ballots are inserted into the vote counting machines. There's no evidence, there's no documentary evidence, pictures or otherwise. There are also no witnesses who will stand as witness to the incident, right? Now, is it at all possible that can be done with the automated election system? Okay, I'm saying that it can be done. Okay, but where is the evidence? The evidence is inside those logs, and we have to look for those. Okay. Now, the random manual audit results, we're saying, are reason for declining the accreditation, especially for the RMA, the conduct of the RMA, is that we would like to have other sources of information that would validate the RMA results. So while NAMFREL has a team that will participate in the conduct of the random manual audit, there's a parallel team that watches over that audit.
In short, you cannot fulfill your role as a
partner
of COMELEC, as a watcher, to ensure that or to observe whether there is irregularity or anomaly without you having access to the log.
That's correct.
And to make your work easier, to have soft copy of the voters list, the precincts,
all the other data sets.
and all the other data. That is your position. So my next question again is, aren't you going to file an MR with the COMELEC to clarify once and for all whether they were just silent on your other prayers, but they might later on say, okay, you will have access, just like PPCRB.
That is under consideration, considering that the data that we're asking for may be made available post-election. Because we can have access only to the logs after the elections. Okay, it's not online, it's not real time. Not unlike the election returns, we can get that to close to real time, which is provided via the transparency software.
Okay. Before I go to the rest area, my question is this. Since all of these matters that we're discussing will not prevent the proclamation of the winning candidates based on the electronic process, okay? What are the things that can be done by NAMFREL or any other citizens group that intend to help make this election clean and honest? Because if after the fact, solutions are being offered, ang tagal ng protesta. That's the main protest ka, abutin ka na ng siyam-siyam or sampu-sampu, no? Tapos na yung term, hindi pa tapos yung protesta. So what can be done by the citizens, no? That to prevent the proclamation of candidates that COMELEC will proclaim on the basis of the result of the electronic election. Can you traverse the issue of digital signature, the lack of it, and others before I leave you to Mike, for the answers.
Digital signatures.
Now, let's what can be done first, okay? Now, if we have access to the data, okay, like for example, the locks on the BCN, the example that I raised, the possibility of ballot stuffing, okay, appreciated ballots to determine whether it had occurred or not. That can be done quickly post-elections, okay? If we only, because everything's automated, we can use data analytics to look into certain events and find out. And because we need to really definitely come up with a resolution of those issues. Okay? So if the VCM logs were provided to us soon after the close of operations, and while the results are being consolidated at the board of canvassers in either the city or municipality, while they're doing that, we can look into the logs already and say, oops, these results might be spurious, okay, or these results are okay. So we can come up to that conclusion. So that's one of the things that we can do. Okay. In fact, when we came up with the Open Election Data Project, okay, it was an offer to COMELEC. We were offering a platform to host all the election data so that other parties can also help looking into it. The objectives, of course, the main objective is for transparency. Okay? But we identified 4 objectives for the Open Election Data Project. One is the visualization of the reports, the results. Everybody's doing that as well. Yung mga graphs, so everybody's doing that. But the other one that we would have wanted to do is, for example, provide answers to certain allegations raised in, for example, the 2016 elections. Allegations like early transmission. If we have that whole chain of logs from the different machines, we can establish whether, in fact, the early transmission happened or not. Okay? So it could provide assistance, we can provide assistance to COMELEC to provide the right answers. Every time those allegations are raised, COMELEC is stumped for answers. Okay? The other objective is for us, we can use it as a tool, like Gus mentioned, we can use it as a tool to detect fraud, if any, that happened, any irregularity that might have happened. Once you detect that, we can tell COMELEC, hey, this event happens. What solutions can we come up with to prevent it from happening in the future? So not only will it serve as a fraud detection tool, but as a tool for planning solutions. And the 4th objective is to identify how, factors which we can improve and optimize the whole election system. So we set out those 4 objectives so that we can improve in the overall. And then once we have that, it will enhance the transparency of the system and the credibility of the results. So we're not dropping COMELEC. We're saying, hey, we're offering you solutions. If you only accept it, then it will enhance the election results.
We're in the same.
Yeah.
We're on the same side.
Correct.
And we're just hoping that COMELEC will look at it that way. That whatever we're saying and whatever we're offering to them is something that will help make our elections more credible. And, you know, even if some of the things that we're saying are new discoveries, because we only saw them in the 2016 elections, for example, that, pwede palang ano, I mean, there are things that happen that we can correct now or in the future. Then we let COMELEC know about it. As a matter of fact, during one of our presentations, there was a commissioner for COMELEC, and he seems to appreciate the kind of analysis that NAMFREL is and was doing.
Mike,
So-
Mike, hold on, Congressman. We will open the forum later, no? We are trying to
Marami
get into the
nang
bottom
usapan
of
eh.
it. Can we just go back to you after we'll ask your question later?
Dahil sa dami na kong nakapag-usapan ang dapat kong malaman natin, ang proseso ba ng halalan ay talaga bang sulit to the COMELEC? Is there any intervention about this election? Yan dapat
Sige po, Mel,
malalaman.
we will answer your question later after this, no? Thank you very much. So anyway, please continue your statement.
Ayun, yun lang sinasabi ko lang that, you know, we're hoping that COMELEC would look at what NAMFREL is doing as an addition to making the elections more credible, and that we're on the same side of this issue. You know? Instead of saying that, instead of thinking that we're an opponent, we're not. We're on the same side. And what we're trying to do is add more value to the detection of fraud.
Which actually COMELEC is supposed to really champion, okay? Because COMELEC stands for clean honest election. That is their goal. That's their job. So what you're trying to say is you're trying to help COMELEC really perform their job better through innovative and technological advancements. So these are the things. This is your open election data project, which you said basically, in-appreciate naman ng ibang commissioners about this. No? The bottom line is, i-backtrack natin ng konti kasi si kaibigang Lito here mentioned about this pre-shaded ballots. This actually happened in the overseas voting. No? Ito ngayon yung naka-viral. No? May pinakakita silang parang pre-shaded ballots. No? Kung i-subject ko yung balota daw sa
Black light.
sa UV lights.
UV light.
Merong ganyan, no? So basically, for the record, the spokesperson of COMELEC, si Director James Jimenez, responded to this. Ang sabi ni Director Jimenez, fake news daw ito, fake. Okay? That's the official record. Number two, may sinasabi rin si Director Jimenez na ang dahilan daw na withdraw or nireject ng NAMFREL ang accreditation is may hinihingi daw yung NAMFREL sa COMELEC na other projects, no? na hindi daw napagbigyan. So in a way, no? Parang ang impression ng iba, parang nagtatampo yung NAMFREL sa COMELEC, no? Parang ang feeling ng NAMFREL na parang hindi sila nabigyan ng fair treatment because this is not my perception. This is the perception of some people there, no? Na nagsasalita na katulad niya, binigyan yung NAMFREL at ang PPCRB ng 6 copy. pristine copy of these returns, no? While NAMFREL was given the 27th copy. Oo. Copy ba ito or Xerox copy?
Printed copy.
Printed copy. Oh. Anyway, so anyway, then ito ngayon yung perception na parang pinapahirapan yung ano tawag dito, yung perceptions lang, pinapahirapan yung mga bagay na pwede naman ibigay na para mapadali yung trabaho ng NAMFREL. Bakit hindi binibigay? Marami pang proseso na actually sinasabi ng mga kaibigan natin dito sa NAMFREL. NAMFREL is here to really help COMELEC, make the work of COMELEC talagang better. Wala naman ibang agenda itong NAMFREL basically. So that's the issue, no? Na sinasabi natin. So again, may binabanggit si Lito, si Chairman Gas, na may mga istorya, pero let me confirm this, hindi na po ito istorya because in the joint Congressional Oversight Committee na hearing and technical meeting, it was already established that there were really early transmissions in the 2016 election. As a matter of fact, JCO, Joint Congressional Oversight Committee, was established in response to the privileged speech of Senate President Lito Soto. Ang sinasabi ni Senate President Lito Soto a year ago, they have this thing na inawakan nila, evidence, no? That one day before the May 9, 2016 election, that is May 8, one day before, there was already transmission of results. So, these are the things, no? Now, what you are trying to say, itong system, Open Election Data Project and other systems na gusto nyo i-suggest sa COMELEC to improve their work, this will help basically COMELEC na stop all this fake news ba yun? Ang sinasabi nila, mga dayaan, fake news daw eh. Ang dayaan, fake news. So in the quest for transparency, the question really is, bakit hindi? If this is something good for COMELEC, if this is something good for the Filipino people, if this will make the election more credible, then why not? Is that it, guys? Is that what you're saying?
Tama yung sinasabi mo, why not, no? Kasi yung sinasabi nga namin na make the election data available to the public, does not require too much effort. Ilagay lang nila sa website nila, and then we can download it from there, no? So wala namang masyadong effort. Why not do it? Yun ang kaya tama yung sinasabi mo, why not, no? Wala namang masyadong effort para sa kanila kung gagawin nila. And yet, malaki ang may tutulong para maging transparent ang ating elections.
Correct. So, the general perception is, bakit pinapahirapan itong right use organization, watchdog? Talagang watchdog. Yung iba dyan, pag sinabi nilang watchdog, nawawala yung unang sila po, yung watch, silent na lang. Dog na lang yung naririnig. Dog. Nawala na yung watch. No? So, this is the watchdog. NAMFREL is the watchdog. So anyway, let me just proceed a little bit. Pihitin natin yung discussion a little bit sa mga usap-usapan. Yung implications ng ginawa ng NAMFREL. Ang sabi ni Senator Lina, why not do a motion for reconsideration sa COMELEC para bigyan kayo? I heard you earlier, you were interviewed by you were interviewed by Vice President Noli Castro, DZMN, Averia, this morning, no? Ang sinasabi mo, mukhang hindi na rin kayo mag-ilit ng reconsideration, no? About this issue, no? So, is that it? Can you confirm that?
Well, kasi it's a matter of timing sa Monday ng elections eh. Baka ang huli nilang unbank meeting is tomorrow afternoon. And I'm sure napakahaba ng agenda niya dahil malapit ng eleksyon. So,
Useless na.
baka, no? In the meantime, kami naman, hindi ko pa alam kung ang aming schedule meeting. Most likely, we will meet before the elections. Kaya lang, hindi pa namin na-schedule. So, hindi naman ako gumagalaw, si Lito gumagalaw. It's usually collegial decisions ang ginagawa namin. No?
Opo. Ngayon,
So, baka wala ng time eh.
yes, Lito.
We're not discounting yet. Like I said, it's under consideration. It may not be an MR to the bank for the resolution or for being silent on the grant of access to data. We may simply write the commission, no, requesting for access to the data that we're asking for. After all, again, the data that we're asking for can be made available only after the elections. No? So we're not discounting the possibility of writing the COMELEC and asking for those data sets.
The reason why I'm asking this, no, kasi as the chairman of media affairs of Mata sa Balota, umiikot po ako sa bayan. Why? Because on May 13, 2019, Mata sa Balota, in partnership with some survey groups ng mga kaibigan natin, will do an exit poll. In other words, we will announce the top 12 winners, unofficial ito, no? Long before the official announcement. Because this will be based on 5,000 respondents, no? And we will have more than 1,000 interviewers situated all over the Philippines to do the exit polls. And tatanungin nila, sinong binoto nyo? It's like the Gallup poll in the US. Now, in my travels all around the country, medyo may naririnig ako na hindi magandang chismis, usap-usapan, or what is this thing? In reaction to all these unveiling events like NAMFREL, kaya ang word doon is you rejected, returned, but meron akong naririnig na istorya na boycotted COMELEC. No? So, hindi nagaling ito, Gas, Lito sa akin.
Sabi ng galing.
Hindi na nagaling sa ano. Pero, alam mo naman yung mga Filipino, napaka-creative yung minds. No? So, what I'm trying to say, and what I'm trying to inform our friends here is this. No? There is now loose talks, especially in the South, sa Mindanao, of gulo, civil war, ang usap-usapan dyan. We don't like this kind of talks. We are a nation of laws, and we still believe in the integrity of our laws. No? And you know what, Gas, Lito, if you're a student of history, titingnan mo, there are issues lesser than elections na nag-trigger ng mga civil war sa different countries. Issues of mga petty things na nag-trigger ng civil war. We're talking here about election. Okay? Election na the only democratic way of changing leaders of our country. The legal way of doing that. No? And here we are, some people talking about revolution, civil war, Red Cove, or whatever it is, no? Na hindi po ito tugma sa constitutional process natin. We still champion the elections. We still champion clean, honest elections. That's why we're here. Sabi nga ni Senator Joey, sana kayo, NAMFREL, kung hindi na kayo dyan sa COMELEC, gusto ko nga sagutin kung hindi kayo sa COMELEC, dito na kayo sa Mata sa Balota. With us, sama-sama tayo. Because you know what? You don't need to be accredited by anybody or any government agency kung ang purpose mo lang is to love the country. Diba? Do we agree on that? Kung mamahalin natin yung bayan, eh paano natin mahalin yung bayan? Eh di ipakita natin na itong election natin, bantayan natin, and let's make sure that this election is going to be very credible. Because marami ng mga usap-usapan in 2010, in 2013, in 2016, na usap-usapan na yan before, but right now, evidences sa mga hearings, etc. And let me welcome the spokesperson and the former president, president pa ngayon ng Automated Election System Watch Group, no? Ito yung watch, malakas watch, no? The late Dr. Nelson Celis, please join us here, Nelson, no? Na itong mga champion ng mata sa balota, mga heroes, no? Who is now on stage right now. Ngayon, the reason why we are talking about this is baka ang sinasabi nilang mga ganitong usap-usapan, magkakaroon ng, alam mo naman ng Pilipino, dalawa lang yan kung kandidato ka, either natalo, at either nanalo ka or dinaya ka. Never nanalo. Let's be creative. What will happen? Halimbawa, kung itong eleksyon na to nagiging hindi credible. Because there's a law, the Automated Election System Law, na dapat ipatupad, na dapat i-implement, na yan ang govern ng elections natin ngayon. If that law is violated, yung mga provision ng mga batas ng Automated Election System Law is violated, then, can we say na ang result ng election hindi valid? Because the law itself that governs the conduct of elections was violated. No? Can you react on that particular fertile question? No? Hindi na-implement ang batas na nagpapatupad ng eleksyon, therefore, hindi valid ang eleksyon.
Ang sequence of events yan, pag lumabas ang resulta ng eleksyon, magpo-proclaim. Yung protest comes after. It comes very much later. So magpo-proclaim, may magpo-protesta, and it can take many years. Yung VP fight hanggang ngayon, hindi pa tapos 3 taon na lang, di ba? Dating tira, no? So yun ang problema sa ating yung protest process natin, napakahaba, no? At pagka naunahan ka nga, na-proclaim na, ang hirap na. Ang hirap, no?
What I'm saying, guys, is this from the very start, walang eleksyon na ganap. Null and void ang election because ang argument dito, this is just an argument and we're just talking about academic discussion dito. We're not pushing for all these things, no? Ang sinasabi ko lang, maraming mga loose talks ngayon na kumakalat. Especially in the South about violence and all these things, na revolution na sinasabi because of failure of elections, basically. Now, if the law, basically, that governs the automated election law, hindi natupad na violate, no? Pwede ba natin sabihin na ang eleksyon na ikukonduct in May 13, 2019 is null and void, hindi valid kasi na-violate ang batas? Eh, naprubahan yan sa korte na na-violate?
Depende yan sa klase ng violation na yan. Kasi kung na-violate lang is something that's not very important and will not change the result of elections anyway, babaliwalain lang siguro. Ngayon, kung malaking bagay yung na-violate, then mga tao siguro, at saka naintindihan ng mga tao, magagalit ang mga tao at baka mag-alsa, no? Dahil dyan. Kasi ito lang, itong eleksyon natin, dyan lang nakakapagsalita ang taong bayan. Yung isang boto mo, kasama dun sa mga mag-elect ng ating mga billions, no? So, importante sa bawat butante ng boto niya. Kaya kailangan manatiling tapat ang resulta ng ating mga eleksyon.
Ngayon, the discussion is academic. Kasi, sabi ko nga earlier, ang Pilipinong kandidato, dalawang bagay lang yan, nanalo or dinaya. let's be a little bit more fertile in our discussion. Ang sabihin natin, halimbawa, lahat ng mga kandidato nagsabi na, dinaya ako eh. Hindi valid itong eleksyon na to. Halika, i-take over natin itong mga government institution, nag-revolution tayo, etc. etc. No? Now, the question that I'm asking, since you said depende, example, let's be specific. In 2010, in 2013, in 2016, may
the Philippines at isa nga sa pag-uusapan doon yung system trustworthiness, accountability and readiness of the Commission on Elections. Kasama po doon yung NAMFREL, yung bakit sila tumiwalan. Kasama rin po sa aming star card yun. Tinatawag na system trustworthiness, accountability and readiness. So, in theory, for discussion, actually hindi naman kailangan maging theoretical dahil sa katotohanan, hindi talaga nila tinupad yung batas.
hindi nila in-implement.
Hindi nila in-implement. So, pagka hindi nila in-implement, ano yung sabihin nun? Kami ito sa automated election system or ISOS, that's failure of automation.
So, hindi ito failure of election, failure of automation.
Failure of automation, that means you fail to implement the law. So, ano yung sabihin ng failure of automation? In reality, that's also failure of election. Diba? So, sinabi mo nga kanina, Doc Mike, yung sinasabi ng political signature. Nakalagay ito sa sections 22 and 25 na all the election results or election return and the certificate of conduct should be electronically transmitted and digitally signed. And this should be the basis in proclaiming the winning candidates. So napakaliliwanag nun eh. Kung wala kang digital signature, ano yung sabihin nun? You cannot proclaim. You cannot proclaim winning candidates.
So, medyo delikado pala ito. Anybody na gustong maghasik ng lagim at saka magrevolusyon, pwede niya i-cite yung issue na kunyari legal na hindi naman valid yung kinonduct ninyong election, dinaya niyo ako eh. Kasi number one, hindi niyo in-implement yung batas which is required. No? So, the conduct of the election is null and void, basically. Hindi ako natalo, dinaya ako because you failed to implement the security features of the law. That's why nadaya ako. So, ang gagawin natin, mga kasamahan, atakihin natin yung ganito, i-take over natin yung ganito, and all the candidates in the Republic of the Philippines will be doing that. Ano mangyari? This is anarchy. We don't like this. We don't like this. Ang sabi namin, an ounce of prevention is better than a cure. It's better than a cure. Di ba? So ngayon pa lang, sa Lunes election, dapat gawa na natin ang paraan itong mga problema na ito, potential problems. So we're not alarmists or whatever. We're just trying to discuss things. Because sabi ko nga, in my rounds all over the country, marami akong naririnig na mga fake news, na revolution, ganyan. We don't like that. We want a democratic change of government and through honest, credible election. Now, kami, ang batas sa Balota, several weeks ago, pumunta sa Supreme Court. We filed a petition for mandamus sa Supreme Court. We are asking the Supreme Court to please, Mr. Supreme Court, compel COMELEC and Smartmatic to implement fully the automated election system law because we saw mga 30 points there sa batas na hindi in-implement ng COMELEC. Bakit natin gusto gawin yan? Para ma-clarify ito. Para hindi na mabigyan ng puwang, hindi na mabigyan ng dahilan itong mga tao na to na ma-exploit yung problema sa evil interest nila. Ang motto po ng mata sa Balota is, it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. Hiniram namin dito sa NAMFREL. Yung mga idol namin, idol namin itong mga NAMFREL guys, no? Because evil prevails when good men
Do nothing.
do nothing. This is what Mata sa Balota is trying to do. We are trying to do something because hindi maganda eh. Kung nagkakaroon because of these technicalities, baka magamit yung mga technicalities na maghasik ng anarchy. We want this election to succeed. And NAMFREL here is trying to help COMELEC. Hindi po kalaban ng COMELEC ang NAMFREL. Hindi po kalaban ng COMELEC ang Mata sa Balota. We're here to champion the tasking na binigay ng Constitution sa COMELEC, which is to conduct clean and honest election. Now, here's the technicality. I understand today I got word. No? 3 weeks ago, we filed a petition for mandamus at the Supreme Court to compel COMELEC and Smartmatic to fully implement the law. Then there was a motion for intervention that was filed 2 days ago, May 2, by the United Filipino Consumers and Commuters, no? Nandito yung Vice President nila. Na-file ninyo, you have that, we will show the media the motion for intervention. And today, I got word that the group of Senator Richard Gordon, is also filing another motion for intervention to support the petition of Mata sa Balota at the Supreme Court to compel COMELEC and Smartmatic to fully implement the automated election law. No? Ang intervention na una was filed by UFCC, no? And now I think it's the group of Senator Gordon. We tried to invite Senator Gordon today here sa Mata sa Balota Forum, but unfortunately hindi siya available. No? So anyway, ito po yung discussion why NAMFREL rejected the accreditation of COMELEC. And the implication of these things, no, na medyo, kung isipin natin, medyo nakakatakot. And I think, no, Dr. Celis, Lito, I think we still have time na magawa ng paraan na itong mga chismis-chismis about gulo, anarchy, etc. will not happen. And we have done our part. Sabi namin, 3 branches of government, the judicial, the legislative, and the executive, no? 3 branches of government. Ginawa na namin ang judicial part. Mata sa Balota went to the Supreme Court. Sa legislative, ginagawa din natin ang going because of the JCO, Joint Congressional Oversight Committee hearings. And doon mismo, nakita ito ang mga ebidensya na mga sinasabi nila fake news. Fake news daw yan before eh. Na there was early transmission, ganyan. Eh hindi na fake news eh. Because doon mismo sa committee hearing ng JCO, napatunayan and na-identify yung ilang areas, 40 plus, 50 plus, that there were early transmission. Hindi pa po nagsimula ang eleksyon ng May 9, 2016, May 8 pa lang, nagtatransmit na ng resulta. This is not chismis anymore. That's JCO hearing. We were there, we were attending. Now, judicial, pumunta kami sa Supreme Court, legislative, may JCO. Ang kulang na lang is for us to go to the executive branch, to the president. No? So, the next step before the election, Mata sa Balota and our partners is going to go to the president, and we will ask the president to get involved. No? Being the father of this nation, we would like the president to be involved here. Titingnan niya kung anong pwede natin gawin. Pagtulungan po natin ito para ang eleksyon natin magiging maganda. Ang eleksyon natin magiging credible. And we trust the heart of the president. Kami, sa Mata sa Balota, we believe in the nationalism and patriotism of President Digong Duterte. We trust in his heart, and he will definitely do something for this country, to protect this country, which he loves so much. Mahal natin yung bayan, sabi nga natin hindi natin kailangan ng accreditation sa gobyerno, kung ang purpose lang natin is mahalin natin yung bayan. So, how do we show pagmamahal sa bayan? then let's help all of us as Filipinos. It should help make sure that this election will work. Clean, honest, credible, and transparent. Yan yung hinihingi kasi ng NAMFREL eh. So, am I right? We are asking, kasama na yung mata sa Balota, and we're asking NAMFREL to be transparent because transparency is credibility. Diba? So, Prof. Nelson, can you update us kung anong mga nangyayari doon sa Joint Congressional Oversight Committee? Si Prof. Nelson is attending that. Also, Lito, Averia, so sa regular time, from time to time ako nakikisilip din, no? Pati si Gas. Gas was there the last time. All of us, the four of us was there last hearing, no? Oo. Can you update us, Prof?
So far, wala pang update regarding sa next JCO hearing. Supposedly dapat nung last week nung April para ma-discuss na yung early transmission, no? Kasi talagang apparently meron talagang early transmissions, no? Kaya lang siguro sobrang busy na rin ng Joint Congressional Oversight Committee. Ilang araw na lang natitira. I think hindi na matutuloy yun. Pero napatunayan naman doon sa Joint Congressional Oversight Committee na meron talagang early transmissions, no? Na unauthorized. Ngayon, ang sinasabi nga ng grupo, even sa ISWATs, na saan ba nanggaling yung mga transmissions na yun? No? Ano ba yung mga addresses noon? At although yun, last year, last election, meron isang petitioner din, si Atty. Aragon, no? Sinasabi niya nung sa petition niya, no? Dapat ibigay ng Commission on Elections yung mga IP addresses. No? Yung IP addresses, ito yung mga, para mag-determine mo kung saan nanggagaling yung mga transmission. So, naging buto na kadeli, hindi na atinan ng Supreme Court yun. Pero nagkaroon ng comment si Justice Leone na dapat ito tignan sa next succeeding elections, which is 2019 and the rest. Nabigyan ng pansin ng Commission on Election itong mga IP addresses na ito kung saan nanggagaling. Kaya kung meron kang IP address, makikita mo saan nanggaling yung early transmission. No?
You are, Prof. Dr. Celis, you're referring to this thing na sinasabi na parang illegal queue servers na hindi authorized, hindi na
kasama pa yan.
Saan mo sinasabi?
Oo, hindi natin ma-determine.
Yung what's the name? Meet me room, something like that, yung mga queuing illegal servers. Ay, hindi declared.
Oo, sana itong mga regional hubs. Kasi hindi ito na publish ng Commission on Elections noong 2016 na meron pala mga queuing servers, may mga meet me room, may mga regional hubs na hindi yan alam. Ngayon, ganun din ang nangyayari. Kasi dito sa batas na dapat ang Commission on Elections i-publish 2 weeks before the elections asan yung continuity place of continuity plan. Asan i-implement yan.
Nasa batas ba ito?
Nasa batas yan. I-publish yan 2 weeks before the election. That means April 30. Dapat yan i-publish sa 2 national newspapers. At dapat i-post din yun dun sa website nila na yung kanilang continuity area or yung disaster recovery site nila ay nandito. Hindi lang naman yun ang kailangan natin continuity area, kundi nasa yung data center. Kasi yung backup or yung continuity area, yun lang ang gagamitin ng Commission on Elections pagka bumaksak yung pinaka-main server. Pero hanggang ngayon, hindi namin alam kung natin, asan itong disaster recovery site. Asan naman yung, main data center. Nobody knows about that. So dapat yun i-publish din. 2 weeks before the elections.
According to the law.
According to the law pala. Ang nasa batas, mula sa presinto, dapat dumiretso ang report papunta sa canvassing. Yan ang nasa batas. Hindi na dapat kung saan dumadaang meet me room, queue server. Queue server, nakakatakot na yung the very word. Queue. Ano? Meron bang nagmamanipula nun kung ano magiging
Gas, di ba?
gas dapat yan.
Nagsasalita ka pa. Di ba ang pag-transmit, seconds lang dapat yan? Parang nag-send ka ng text, tapos second lang, nare-receive na.
Oo.
Ngayon, may queuing, umaabot na isang araw, 2 araw, bago na-receive ng transmit. Dumadaan ba ito sa queuing?
Yun lang mali na
Queuing
yun.
server, which is illegal. Sorry, interrupt mo ahead, please.
Yun lang, sinasabi ko, nasa sa batas, dapat mula sa presinto, diretso na kaagad for canvassing. Eh ito, meron pang queuing, merong room. Hindi dapat Hindi yun ang nasa sa batas
At hindi alam ng mga ating mga kandidato yan, at mga political parties, hindi nila alam yan. So yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung disaster recovery site o backup site, dapat yun nakikita rin o alam ng mga political parties at saka ng citizens arm. Alam dapat nila yun. Ano? Pero hanggang ngayon, walang sinasabi ng Commission on Elections kung nasaan itong mga backup servers nito at kung meron pang mga queuing servers yan. Dapat in the presence of the political parties, citizens arm, and stakeholders. Hindi sinusunod dyan ng Commission on Elections.
Dahil sinasabi kasi ni dating taga-COMELEC na masyado po yung hindi rin namin alam. Kandidato kami. May alam mo kami. Kaya nga, ang gusto kong kuhan, ang katanungan para kay Lagman, dating commissioner,
Yes, go ahead.
na ito bang halalang ito, suli ba ng COMELEC? Wala bang intervention na nandyan bang individual na intervention o smartmatic para malaman natin? Dahil mahirap na yung sinasabi nilang hindi namin alam ng mga kandidato kami. Alam namin ang mga pandaraya sa COMELEC at saka ng smartmatic.
Yeah. That was the
Opinion.
flashlighting candidate of Labor Party, Mel Chavez. Mel, salamat sa reaction. And ang point natin dito, dahil alam na ng kandidato, ano ngayon ang gawin natin? Kasi alam na natin yung sinasabi mong pandaraya. What do we do?
Yung problema niyan, sasagutin ko, no? Alam mo, nung araw pa sinasabi namin, no? Bakit ino-automate ang vote counting? Sa ibang bansa, inabando na yan. Yung canvassing, okay lang i-automate yan. Pero yung vote counting, dapat nakikita ng mga tao. No? Hindi dapat i-automate yan. Gano'ng katagal ba yung vote counting? Mahaba na isang araw. Samantalang inaabot ng linggo bago matapos bago mag-proclaim yung mga nanalo. No? Ito, yung vote counting would only take anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. Huwag mo i-automate yan. In-automate mo, gumastos pa nga tayo ng bilyon-bilyon piso. Hindi kailangan na i-automate yun. Actually, ang kailangan lang natin para ma-automate yung canvassing, mga laptops. Yun ang kailangan natin. Kaya, doon pa lang, sinasabi na namin, mali. Huwag mo i-automate ang vote counting. Ang sinasabi nga doon sa libro, Code Red, sabi niya, automated vote counting is inherently insane.
Kaya nga ho, Commissioner, para ho malaman natin na ito pong ginagawa ng COMELEC, suli ba talaga sa COMELEC na walang intervention ang smartmatic? Para malaman na natin dahil alam na natin pero ayaw ninyo hong sabihin.
Sasabihin ko sa iyo kung anong nangyayari sa election natin. Nilalagyan natin, binamark natin yung balota natin. Pagkatapos, isusubo natin yung balota doon sa vote counting machine. Wala na tayo nakikita mula doon. Ang lumalabas na lamang yung resulta doon sa presinto. So, sino gumagawa nun? Parang isinubo mo sa isang kwarto na nakasara, nakalock. Sino ang nakakaalam ng pagbibilang nun? Yung software. Sino ang gumawa ng software? Yung supplier ng makina.
Smartmatic.
Foreigner pa. So, ang
Venezuela.
nakakaalam kung paano nabibilang ang ating mga balota ay isang foreign company. Yun ang katotohanan noon.
Bakit? Kahit alam na ho natin na gas na dapat ko malaman ng tao. Dahil ito pong labanan ito ay kami ho'y kasama sa labanan. Ngayon, ang laban namin noong 2016, naglagay ako ng 7 kabaong sa COMELEC. Dahil sa katarantaduhan ng COMELEC at ng Smartmatic. Pero isang araw lang, pinaalis na kagad sa amin. Okay lang yun. Pero ito dapat 11 kabaong ang dapat makasama rito. 7 commissioner, isang SWS, yung Pulse Asia, at saka Smartmatic, 10 na. Pang-11, si Digong ang talagang problema sa bayan ito.
Well, maraming salamat, Mel, no? That is your opinion, pero we are basically, about the
Ay,
president.
hindi opinion ito. Yun ang katotohanan, pakwal ng mga pangyayari.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, mata sa balota still holds hope for the president. That's why the president, we are going to go to the president on this issue about the election. We still mata sa balota feels that that the president is for the people, and we still believe, for the record, the president, mata sa balota feels that the president has a righteous heart, and he is going to be there to defend the Filipino people, the interests of the Filipino people. For the record, kasi binanggit mo kasi yung kabaong doon. So, I just would ask the media affairs chairman of Matasabalota, I would like to put on record that Matasabalota has still the full trust sa presidente. But anyway, Mel, nandito ka na rin, no? Let me just ask you an update. In the previous forum, you said to us that your group, you personally, being the president of
Labor
Party, is planning to file a motion to intervene to support the original mandamus petition of Matasabalota sa Supreme Court. Anong nangyari po?
Nakausap namin si yung abogado ninyo na si Mel
Attorney Magdamo.
Gamo at yung aming lawyer, ang aming Secretary General ng aming partido. Nandun na sa kanila. Ang gusto ko na lang, pipirma na lang ako para magiging intervenor kami doon sa Supreme Court. Ngayon, nandito naman si former Commissioner Gas na ang ating ginawa pa namin na Commissioner, nag-petition kami sa Smartmatic at saka sa SWS, sa COMELEC at saka ng Pulse Asia. Hindi dumating yung mga tarantadong SWS at saka yung Pulse Asia. Nag-petition kami nag-inbank ang meeting, nagkaroon na ng sabi ni Commissioner, ni Chairman, na for resolution na ang aming petition. Pero hanggang ngayon, ilang araw na, wala pa rin. Yung katarantaduhan na yan, hindi ko kami papayag dahil ito kong ginagawa ng Pulse Asia at saka ng itong SWS. Alam mo ninyo, nandito ho yung mga kasamahan namin sa media, print at saka television. Pag ano mo yung nakalagay sa kanilang number 1 to 12, yun yung ibinibigay ng TV at saka ng print media na hindi na totoo. Mga katarantaduhan nila.
So basically yun. Kaya are you still pursuing with the filing of that motion?
Yes.
Kasi ganito yan kasamahang Mel. It's 6 days before the election. So we filed a motion, the Matasabalota Group filed a motion, a petition for mandamus to compel COMELEC and Smartmatic to implement fully the law. Ngayon, sa Lunes na yung ang halalan, and we are still waiting the action of the Supreme Court. Today, as I announced earlier, I think the group of Senator Dick Gordon is going to also file a motion for intervention to support the original petition ng Mata sa Balota sa Mandamos. No? Our friend here from UFCC filed 2 days ago already. No? So, ito po yung window. We have 6 days, no? And we're waiting. Kami naman sa Mata sa Balota, Senator Candidate Mel, we are still very positive and hopeful sa mga justices natin sa Supreme Court. We still believe in their heart. We believe that they are also nationalistic, patriots sila. And we believe that these are righteous people. And pag nakita po nila yung petition, we are hoping and we're praying that they should act already. Kasi 6 days to go. Ngayon, kung hindi mag-action ang Supreme Court sa motion natin doon, parang magiging molten academic na yung petition natin for Mandamos. Kasi magaganap na po yung election. Kaya I would suggest, if you're really planning to file that motion to intervene, you should file it already before Monday para mapabilang po sa pag-consider ng Supreme Court sa lahat ng mga petisyon na final natin 3 weeks ago sa Supreme Court po.
Salamat, Mike, at yung pagmamahal natin sa bayan, hindi na ho kailangan pang dumisan ng dugo ang ating mga kababayan. Dahil una-una, kung maliwanag ko sa ating istorya, 1974, kasama ko kami sa hijacking sa Philippine Airlines. Noong 1974, dahil sa katarantaduhan ni Marcos. Ngayon, bagal nito sa katarantaduhan naman ni Digong na hindi maayos yung halala natin, baka magkakaroon mo ng problema talaga ang ating mga kababayan.
Let us pray na itong election. Anyway, hindi pa naman nangyari. Sabi ko nga as long as humingi nga tayo, may pag-asa. Last week, sinabi ko itong statement sa forum natin, nag-react yung presidente ng National Press Club. Sabi niya, Doc, okay naman yung yung sinasabi. Pero para sa kanya, personal na opinion niya to, hingi na lang natin kay presidente na mumurahin na lang ito. This is according to, it's a joke, no? Pero that was the last week's forum. Namumurahin na lang itong mga namamahala na eleksyon kasi every time the president daw, according to the president of the National Press Club, every time magmura si presidente, may nangyayari na positive. So sabi niya, wala na, lahat naman tayo hinga. Hinga na lang natin si presidente na murahin na itong mga tao na to nang kukonduct ng election para magiging maganda ang outcome. So basically, setting aside the joke, we are still hopeful that this election sa Lunes will be successful because that's the only way na ma-push natin yung development ng bayan natin, maayos natin, and we should do it not only for ourselves, no? We should also do it para sa mga anak natin, sa mga apo natin in the future of this country. We want this country, the Philippines, mahal na mahal natin ito, to be once again be great, no? So, Prof, any reaction before we ask our resource persons to say the last word?
Yeah, gusto ko lang idagdag tungkol sa Mandamos na binigay natin 3 weeks ago dun sa Supreme Court, yung camera bola. Tatanda mo yung Lagman, ano? So, sinasabi nga ng grupo, no, na kung pwedeng kunan ng camera yung lilipat o yung mga voters receipt. Wala naman nakalagay sa batas na pinagbabawal na kunan mo ng camera yung mga resibo. Kasi alam naman natin na yung resibo may binabalidate ng mga botante at sasabihin na tama nga, ito yung binoto ko. As against doon sa nangyayari sa Hong Kong, boboto yung Yung isang kandidato lumalabas 3, pag 3 lumalabas 7. So ito, doon sa camera bola, nababalidate ng butante, ito nga yung binoto ko, ilalagay ko dyan. Kung mayroong problema, mag-report siya sa Board of Election Inspector. So pagkatapos ng halalan, ng 6 o'clock, pag nag-close na ng presinto, ang pwedeng gawin ng ating ating mga volunteers, ikakarambola, kumbaga, isasako lahat yung box na may ilalaman ng mga voters receipt or yung BB-pad at kukunan. Kukunti lang naman yun 800 to 1,000 o baka 600 voters receipt lang yan, kukunan ng camera, pictures or even video, hindi matagal yun. Tapos kukunin ng mga volunteers, kung sino man ang volunteers sa mata sa Balota, sa Ice Watch, sa NAMFREL, at magkukontak ng sariling ng tallying o canvassing. Wala naman hindi naman pinagbabawal sa batas yun. So, pwedeng gawin yun nationwide. So, pwede rin gamitin yan para sa RMA, sa random manual audit, pwede rin gamitin yan. So, kung-compare mo ngayon, yung nakuna ng camera bola, yun ang tawag ng grupo, doon sa resulta ng election returns, doon sa presinto. Pagkakaroon talaga ng validation at makikita natin, tama ba binilang ng makina? Kasi yung manong pagbibilang doon sa voters receipt na na-validate ng mga botante, ay yun talaga yung tamang resulta. Pagka na-compare mo yun, at pareho, ibig sabihin, tama yung binilang ng makina. Pero pagka may discrepancy, ay malaking gulo yun. Katulad nangyayari sa absentee voting. Nagboto ng isa, 3 yung lumalabas, mali po yun. So yun sinasabi ko sa Pandamos, dapat bigyan ng pagkakataon na makuna ng camera yung voters receipt.
So we are awaiting yung action ng Supreme Court. We have 6 days to go bago mag-election. So we are praying hard that the Supreme Court will act on our petition for mandamus before the May 13, 2019 election. Ngayon, to add on your statement, Professor Nelson, merong issue, recent lang ito na I think the President can do something about this, President Ligo. Sa National Treasury, sa Manila, nagreklamo sila, may reklamo daw na natatanggap daw nila something na itong mga security forms or whatever ng election, nakaseal daw yan nakaseal daw. Yung mga ibang portion doon, are you familiar with this?
Yes,
parang broken yung seal. May natatanggap sila na broken yung seal sa mga security forms, So, ang punto natin dyan, after the VVPAT or the voters receipt has been printed, saan pa napupunta to? Tinatapon na ba nila to?
Hindi, ito yung nilalagay ko sa mas malaking ballot box. Saka padadala to sa munisipyo.
Then, who is going to safekeep that? Kasi that's part of the election process. Now, hahanapin natin yung pinrint nila last 2016 na voters receipt. Wala na Pwede ba yan na orderan ni Presidente yung mga National Printing Office or whoever is the National Treasury to custody his receipts?
Treasurer's Office.
Treasurer's Office.
BI.
Okay, go ahead.
At the end of the operations, all election paraphernalia are packed. So for example, the VVPAT will be placed in a specially designated envelope which is properly labeled. All of these are placed in the ballot box. Ballot box is sealed, and then they are returned to the office of the city or municipal treasurer, which will be again forwarded to
COMELEC.
the Commission on Elections. Ilalagay lahat yan dun sa warehouse. So your question of who has custody of the VVPAT? It's COMELEC.
Ultimately, COMELEC.
So, Mike, para si Gas, si Commissioner, yung kung 2016, meron meron akong isang babae na nagpunta sa Novotel, na nirate niya na Coco.
Novotel in Quezon City.
Sa Quezon City. EDSA. Meron mong sinabi sa akin yung babae na dapat kasama ni Corina Sanchez at saka ni Rojas na para sirain si Digong.
Allegations ito, you're talking about allegations of this particular...
Yes, para malaman natin na
My friend, keep that.
nawala ko yung sa 7th floor na mga machine. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin. Hindi ko malalaman kung nasaan yung red team ni na Coco na hindi naman talaga na nakuha yung 7th floor na nandun yung mga machine para dayain si Digong. Ngayon, ito ho nating malaman na Commissioner Gas na mayroong mga shilling-shilling na naman ang problema ngayon. Kaninong machine yun? Ang dami ko yung sinabi sa akin ng informante ko na nagiging, para malalaman din ni Digong na maraming na nagiging karelasyon ni Digong. At may anak si Digong sa katubig. Para malaman nila na yun ang parang gustong sirain si Digong doon, pero hindi lang nagiging konsensya ng babae na madadama yung kanyang anak. Para malaman natin, ito, Commissioner Gas, ayusin na natin ang halalan. Total, nandito na kayo, lumalaban para sa bayan. Kami, lalo na kaming lumalaban, dahil ang gusto namin, laban ng marangal.
Dalawang bagay. Sa sinasabi mong mga nangyayari sa hotel,
Allegations.
mga allegations, saka wala rin naman ako magagawa doon. Ano yung huli mo sinabi? Yung
Ayusin yung...
ayusin, no? Kaya natin dito tayo, di ba? Sinusubukan natin ayusin. Wala naman akong poder. Pare-pareho lang tayo. Isang mamamayan, isang butante.
Ang bayan mo, ang siya mong
Kaya nagsasama-sama tayo dito para ipahiwatig sa kanila na ayusin nyo naman kasi merong mga problema yung election natin. Nandito na rin lang, hawak ko na rin lang itong mikropono, sasabihin ko na kaya tayo nandito ngayon. Kaya maraming mga ibang pulong-pulong na nangyayari ngayon. Kasi, isang bagay lang, in-automate natin yung vote counting. Dahil doon, ang daming naging controversy. No? Ang daming mga naging controversy. Dahil in-automate natin yung vote counting. Ang vote counting dapat nakikita ng publiko, ng voting public.
Literally transparent.
Dapat transparent yun.
Kaya literally.
Kasi dala na yan hanggang sa dulo eh. Yung canvassing, okay ang i-automate. Kasi meron ng election returns, may hawak ng dominant party, dominant opposition, marami nang may hawak ng election returns. So, okay lang i-automate mo after that. Pero kung wala pang ganyang pinanghahawakan, at in-automate mo na kagad, kaya nang ginawa natin sa 2010, 2013, 2016, nagkakaroon ng controversy. All they need to do is remove the automation of the precinct counting. Yun lang.
So that would be part of the proposal that we are going to forward to the government probably. From the private sector.
Dahil ang tanong kasi dito meron bang intervention na bukod doon sa COMELEC? Dahil ang pagkakaroon natin dahil ayusin na natin dahil ito talagang smart matic ang siyang dahilan sa pagdaraya sa halalan.
Yan, opinion niya. Hindi natin alam, no? But yun ang isang problema. Hindi natin alam.
Deho,
alam natin.
Commissioner, para malaman natin, para ito yung pakita na natin sa tao na ang COMELEC dapat government yun. kung sino dapat ang manalo, nandoon kaagad sa COMELEC. Hindi po pwedeng harangin ng Smartmatic. Hinarang nila eh.
Kaya nga, ipapaliwanag ko, no? Ang nagbibilang ng ating balota ay yung makina. Yung makina, ang nagpapatakbo ng makina ay yung tinatawag na software. Yung software na yan, ang gumawa ay ang Smartmatic. So, nangangahulugan, pwede, hindi ko sinasabing ginawa nila, ang sinasabi ko lang, pwede nilang sila ang magdesisyon kung sino mananalo. Magagawa nila yun dahil sila ang gumawa ng software na nagpapatakbo ng makina. Kaya nga, ang sinasabi sa maraming parte ng mundo, huwag i-automate ang vote counting. Yun ang punot dulo niyan. Hindi tayo, wala tayong pag-uusapan dito kung hindi nila in-automate ang vote counting. Yun ang punot dulo niyan.
So, what you're saying, Chairman Gas, is parang ang thread of your statement is hindi full automation but half or hybrid. Transparent manual counting on the precinct level because transparent, nakikita ng publiko, binibigyan sa mga tao yun.
And then automated na all the way.
Then it transmits automated all the way na.
Ang cost lang sa atin, 1 day. Madagdagan lang ng 1 day.
One day, tama.
Yun lang. Ano ba
Tapos
naman
na,
yun?
tapos na dapat yun.
Yeah, well, basically we share the same sentiment. And idagdag ko lang yung statement ni Senatoriable L. Chavez na during the JCOP meeting, the last JCOP meeting, the reviewers of the source code reviewers, one of those is Attorney Hubert Guevara, reminded the whole JCOP there na as of that time, even as of today, there are 11 PCOS machines na hindi pa daw accounted for. Can you confirm this? May sinasabi siya at that time na present niya sa body that there are around 11 or so PCOS machines na hindi pa nabalik sa ng what do you call this, ng COMELEC. And this PCOS machine is the same PCOS machine that they're using right now, this coming Monday, and once ma-reformat yan or whatever, pwede pa rin gamitin ulit yan into transmitting.
Early transmission.
Whatever, transmission. Kasi, siyempre, can you elucidate on this, Lito? Or, what? Kasi, sinabi ko ni Hubert sa Jacob, I was there.
Okay, the PCOS machines have been used in 2010, 2016.
2010, 2016.
I'm not privy to the information where they are or if they have been accounted for. Now, there are theories that these machines, however, may be used to transmit results. Okay. Now, just to be fair, in the system, may set up din yan. Kaya nga, hinahanap natin yung logs. Okay? To give that full story of what happened in the elections. Yun nga, yung sinasabi yun, nire-raise yun na early transmission. This to this day remains as allegations. They have not been proven. The pieces of evidence that were presented in the JCOP Technical Working Group may be indicators of certain irregularities, but they have not been proven. What we will find in the logs, doon sa records nga ng mga makina, may give us indications of irregularities, but we will have to conduct an exhaustive investigation. Beyond looking at all those logs, for example, we will have to check also the minutes of the voting, which the PAIs are required to maintain. Incident reports from third parties, watchers, Now, may safeguard din doon sa system na kung may transmission coming from
Alam ko.
makikita
Kami naman yan,
mo
Des,
yung
kami naman
identity
yan.
ng mga machines. So kung questionable yung transmission na yun, I think part of the safeguards is to set aside temporarily the election results that may have been transmitted by a rogue machine, no? Para ma-investigahan din nila. Okay? So lahat yun, yun nga sinasabi, there are several issues dito sa automation nga nito. The technical issues, the implementation nga ng mga technical requirements. The legal issues, yung question mo about valid ba yung elections, that's a legal matter to be discussed. And then of course, there are political issues that arise. Now, sa amin, I'm a technologist, I look at the technical matters. Okay? At ang sinasabi ko is, ang istorya ng eleksyon 2010, 2013, or 2016 ay nandun sa logs ng mga makina. If we have access to all those logs, we can actually replay the elections.
Celis dito sa
No? At makikita natin, pwede natin sinasabi yung mga logs na yun para ma-identify nga kung may irregularities. And if we find certain irregularities, then we'll just have to conduct again exhaustive investigation, including forensics. No? So, masyado man technical yung issue. As to the legal matters, of course, we cannot come up with an opinion or a conclusive statement on the legal matters.
So this brings us back to the topic of today's forum, why NAMFREL rejected the Citizens Farm Accreditation. Because NAMFREL is asking for technical data, in layman's word, lags ang sinasabi, na makapaayos at saka makabubuti, maka-improve, maka-safeguard sa eleksyon natin. Ngayon, COMELEC did not give NAMFREL these things. No? Kaya, sabi ninyo, hindi kayo magiging that efficient without Islam.
Okay, let me correct on the wording. No? It is not that we did not give. The accreditation is silent on that matter. Okay, that's why again. Okay, it is all possible that we may ask for it by not at this time, kasi nga for lack of time, not in the form of a manifestation, to the NBank, but maybe by way of a letter to the commission. No? So hindi namin tinatapos.
Hindi pa tapos ang istorya.
Oo, hindi pa tapos yung istorya.
May pag-asa pa.
Oo. Like I said, our position is, okay kami to do the RMA. Kaya nga lamang, humihingi kami ng access to additional data para ma-validate namin independently. NAMFREL treasures and takes pride in its independence and non-partisanship. We are an independent organization.
Politely, COMELEC, to cooperate with NAMFREL on this, baka maayos natin itong issue of accreditation so that the random manual audit, which is required by the law, automated election system law, will be implemented. Kasi pag hindi nangyari itong RMA, random manual audit, another black eye yan sa tinatawag natin na legal question of the full implementation of the law. So, siguro, we're very grateful na nandito kayo para narinig natin na kayo, your heart is still there, open. If NAMFREL will also, you have to meet somewhere along the way, no? Halfway, no? Pwede natin pag-usapan.
Again, while NAMFREL has politely declined the accreditation for the conduct of the RMA, matutuloy yung RMA na yan. Hindi pwedeng hindi matuloy. Gagawin yan ng komisyon. Okay? Whether they have another partner to do it, they're also free to do that. But like I said, NAMFREL has not closed its doors in participating in the random manual audit. No? We can probably go there to the audit site to observe the process. No? Hindi kami nagsasara again. Again, we have offered to assist the COMELEC in a lot of matters. No? Hindi kami nagsasara ng pinto just because we declined the accreditation.
So for the record, napakaganda, at least na clarify natin that everybody is willing to help each other just to make sure that this election, this coming Monday, will be successful. Ito po yung gusto natin. And we would like at this point to open the forum to our friends sa media. No? Pasensya na po kayo, napahaba yung discussion. Marami tayong friends from TV, from broadcast, and from print. No? Sir, can you identify your name, your organization?
I am attorney Ernesto Rillan, a candidate for senator under the Katipunan ng Kamalaya Kaimagi. It's a new party.
Correct, sir.
We heard the discussion, and the one that I heard is there is a request from NAMFREL, which I hope I'm correct, which that the COMELEC is not inclined to grant, and for which reason NAMFREL declined the accreditation as a partner of the COMELEC. So may I ask, is the request of NAMFREL impossible to grant? I agree it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness, because evil prevails when good men do nothing. I think that is what NAMFREL is trying to do.
Correct.
Be the eyes of a clean, honest, and orderly election. This is my first time to participate in the election. And I do not want, and I hate cheating, because leadership should not be bought, should not be purchased, but it should be an honest, the act should be one and honest believing their leadership. But the problem is now, there are many news, genuine, fake, that election is not very clean, it's not an honest, especially with the PICOS machine or the automated counting
System.
of
System.
the ballot system. So, we rejected the manual because it is fraud-ridden. We adopted an automated election, but the fraud becomes bigger.
Sir, what is your question, sir? This was
I am supporting the request of NAMFREL because that will be a guarantee for a clean, honest, and orderly election. My question therefore is it impossible? Will it prejudice the clean, honest election if the request of NAMFREL is granted?
Chairman.
Is granted or not?
Granted, will it be a big issue against COMELEC if they will grant your request of data?
Well, it's not against COMELEC. We have to be very careful about the wording here. We're requesting for that so that we can add credibility to the result of elections. If we had a complete database of the election returns, then we would be able to do our work in random manual audit more credibly. Kasi check namin yung mapipiling mga presinto sa random manual audit kung tama doon sa election data na ibibigay, kung ibibigay nila. Pero kung di nila kami bibigyan ng kopya ng election data, yung complete, no? Hindi namin ma-check kung tama pala yung mga election returns na ino-audit namin. So, yun ang problema doon, no? We would not be able to verify the contents. So, bibilangin namin, i-audit namin, pero hindi namin alam kung tama yun laman ang ino-audit namin.
So the answer is, hindi naman bad thing for COMELEC to, if they will grant, hindi makakasama sa COMELEC. makakabuti pa nga kasi makakatulong itong bagay na ito na pinod ko. It's nothing, it's
Ano
not
sagot po ng COMELEC sa request?
hindi nga pinagbigyan yung request.
Bakit nga?
We have to ask COMELEC.
Wala akong
Tinatanong po natin.
Ang sabi, actually may reaction from COMELEC. Ang sabi ni Director James Jimenez na kaya nag-withdraw ang NAMFREL sa accreditation kasi may hinihingi daw kayong mga project sa COMELEC. Ano ba hinihingi ninyong project sa COMELEC?
Napakasimple man yung inuulit nila. Kinakailan, alam mo rin na tama o ma-check mo na tama yung ino-audit mo. It's simply logical.
That's the point ng communication. Ngayon, ang reaction na kalat namin, parang may statement si Director James Jimenez na kaya daw kayo nag-reject ng accreditation. Parang may hindi kayong project, na hindi kayo napagbigyan. Is that right? I don't know.
Again.
The same question din tinanong kanina sa DCMM ni Loli de Castro kay Chairman. Sinabi niya kanina.
Again, doon sa petition namin for accreditation, we manifested and informed the COMELEC that we will go into 3 primary projects. There are other smaller projects that we are engaged in, but the primary projects that we are engaging in is 1, conducting the RNA with the commission. The second one is yung automated election system watch. No? Mobile call watching, mga yan. Anong nangyayari sa preparation, no? Doon sa automated elections, anong mangyayari on the day of the elections, tapos pagkatapos ng elections, ano yung mangyayari, yung mga activities na yun. Pangatlo, yun nga tinatawag namin open elections data. Okay? Now, bakit importante yung open elections data? Yun nga, it will further enhance the credibility of the results, no, by reviewing yung datos tungkol sa automated election system. Hindi lamang yung results, hindi lamang yung completeness ng ER o yung accuracy ng ER, hindi lamang yung completeness o accuracy ng certificates of canvass, kung hindi lahat ng nakatala doon sa mga tinatawag ng logs ng lahat ng makina. That would bear us out. Kasi nga, na-raise kanina yung queue server, na-raise din kanina yung me room kung saan dumadaan yung transmission. If we are able to secure all of those logs at ma-review natin lahat yan, mapapagtugtong-tugtong natin lahat yan. Again, that's a very technical issue. Ang hinahalintulad ko lamang yung logs na yan sa logbook sa building, sa visitors log. Pag pumasok kayo sa building, yung receptionist o yung security, pwede kayong mag-log dito. Itatala niyo yung pangalan nyo, saan kayo galing, sino yung bibisitahin, yung time in, time out nyo, para mag-monitor naman yung movement ng tao. Ganon din sa automated election system. May log din yan, lahat ng nangyayari doon sa makina, itinatalaya doon sa logs. Doon natin makikita. Sa transmission, meron din tinatawag na transmission log. Mapapagdugtong natin. May pinadala yung VCM kay legitimate na VCM o fake na VCM, maitatala natin yan doon sa transmission. No? All the way up to the final canvassing sa national level. So yun yung hinihingi namin.
Lagman.
So napakaganda. Yes,
Projects.
Chairman.
Alam mo, tama yung sinasabi ng NAMFREL.
Siya.
Pwede kong ihambing
Matanda.
ito. Sabagay,
Yeah.
sumasakay siguro
Yan,
tayo sa
may
grab
bigote.
tax. Ang grab car, grab taxi, o shake car.
This was Celis to.
So pagka
Gas, Lagman, ano, yung
NAMFREL.
bata.
pupunta ka kunwari,
Tanda.
magmula doon sa bahay mo, papunta dito sa Manila.
Dati siyang commissioner ng COMELEC.
Pagka-grab car ka o grab taxi. Ano yung mga information na nakikita mo?
Baka
doon?
chairman siya, wala.
So, maglalagay ka doon sa grab, no?
NAMFREL
Tapos
na.
pupunta ka doon sa Manila
That's
Hotel.
Nelson.
Pagka merong tumanggap
Chairman
sa iyong
of
request,
AA.
na driver, unang-una, makikita mo kung sino yung driver. Pangalawa, yung driver, kilala ka rin. Pangatlo, alam mo kung magkano yung babayaran mo magmula sa bahay hanggang dito sa Manila. Pang-apat, alam mo kung anong oras ka dadating dito. Ano yung ruta na dadaanan mo. Ang maganda experience nito, one time, meron ko naiwan dun sa Grab. No? Sabi ko, tumawag ko ngayon dun sa Grab, for help. Sabi ko, naiwan ko yung ganitong bagay. Can you help me out? Immediately, after 5 minutes, sinabi ng Grab,
Na-trace na
then, meron nga kayo naiwan, hindi na kayo nahabol ng driver. Pwede niyo kong kunin dito sa lugar ng Grab office. Yung po, ganun kasimple yung mga informasyon.
Napakaganda.
Ang sinasabi ng NAMFREL.
Nahihiling
Gusto nila
ako.
mag-trace, magmula nung sumakay ka hanggang makarating ka. No? Lahat ng mga information. Yun lang kasimple-simple yung hinihingi na NAMFREL.
So all these things are for the best. That will work positively for COMELEC. Siguro, anyway, ang punto natin dito is nakikita naman natin yung puso ng leadership ng NAMFREL that they are still willing to talk about it, Sabi ko, nothing is impossible as long as you talk about it.
Hindi mahirap yun eh.
Correct.
Napakadali yun. Kung talagang transparency si COMELEC, i-share mo. Di ba? Hindi naman, you don't need a rocket scientist. No? Para maibigay mo yung mga ganong simple informasyon. Kung yung Grab na nakakapagbigay, how much more yung COMELEC?
Correct. So we still are hoping that COMELEC, being the body, the government body to really to conduct this election based on the law, na sana maayos itong mga problema na to. And lahat naman tayo, we are really praying for credible, clean, and transparent election because the future of our country depends on this. So we would like to appeal itong mga chismis about civil war, revolutionary, or whatever it is. This is not the way to do it. Kung kayo, mahal din yung Pilipinas, dito tayo sa eleksyon. Because this is the only democratic way of changing the leadership of our country. No? Ngayon, we should support this. Yun yung appeal ng mata sa Balota at this point in time. And I understand na you will definitely agree. NAMFREL and everybody, we should rally that this election, this coming Monday, should be honest, clean, and transparent. And we should work together to make sure, so that COMELEC will also work towards what we would like to do. So basically, ganon yung pinag-uusapan natin. Napakaganda ng forum natin this morning. Can we have other reaction from our friends sa media? Tina, do you have any question from GMA 7, Tina? No, sir. Sir, please identify yourself.
Sir, good morning. Gerard po from Malaya. Sir, I understand you will seek clarification from the COMELEC. Don't you think it's premature na nag-withdraw kayo or you decline the accreditation? Well, in fact, you can just clarify with regards to your request for open data.
Well, they have a resolution saying that they're granting us the random manual audit and the 27 copy. So, ang immediate reaction namin huwag nyo na kami i-accredit kung yung lamang dalawang bagay na yun ay bibigay sa amin dahil ito yung mga hiningi namin ngayon, magkakaroon sila ng unbank meeting siguro itong bukas dahil every Wednesday yata ang unbank meeting nila. Sana, i-take up nila yon at sabihin nilang, ibibigay namin yung information, yung election na complete election data. At doon, pwede rin naman namin bawiin yung sinabi namin na, kung ganon, tuloy yung gagawin namin. At saka nga pala, whether we're accredited or not, meron namang magagawa naman, hindi naman kami mga pwede pang gawin.
Sir, clarified. So you're not saying it's premature what you decided?
Reaction yon doon sa kanilang decision. Na kung ganyan, huwag nyo na kami, kumbaga, huwag nyo na kami i-accredit officially. Parang magagawa namin yung trabaho gagawin namin kahit wala yung accreditation.
But sir, what you're saying now is you will consider making a motion.
Ay, kung baguhin nila yung decision nila, oh, we're not closing doors, sabi nga ni Lito. Kung baguhin nila yung decision nila, di, maraming salamat po.
Let's work together.
Okay, thank you.
Lina, please. Lina, marinigan
Sir, nalilito lang ako. Ito na lang po. Meron po bang magpapabago ng isip nyo? Well, first, do you have back channeling right now with COMELEC?
Meron naman.
Sir, Mike, please.
Mike.
Meron naman, meron mga kumakausap. Si Lito, maraming kaibigan doon sa loob. So, inaasahan.
Ano nang pag-usapan nila?
As
From this moment, ano nang pag-usapan?
Well,
Share the
official. Yung pala official. Pero wala pang lumalabas.
Pero willingness from both sides, from NAMFREL side, is there. Willingness.
Oo naman. Kasi magpapadali ng trabaho namin kung magiging official yung pagbibigay sa amin ng di ba? Yung data, ng mga datos. Kesa naman kung saan pa namin hinuhugot.
Sir, yung hinihingi nyo nasa website. May project of precincts po doon. May local candidates. Hindi lang po national. I just checked today. It's on the website.
Hindi lang project of precincts, pero yung election data mismo, yung election returns. Ng lahat ng presinto.
But don't you get that already?
No, we don't.
Yung sa accreditation, silent nga siya dun sa data. Kasama dun sa data set na actually, 4 na kategorya yung data na inilista ko doon sa aming petition.
Yes, I heard that.
Una yung traditional na data na natatanggap namin, which includes nga yung election returns. No? Project of Precincts, you said it's the website, list of candidates, down to the local level, nandun lang yun. No? Ang hinihingi nga namin, ito nga yung mga traditional data na natatanggap namin, which we would have wanted much earlier. Kasi nga, kailangan ihanda rin yung automated system ng NAMFREL to do its job.
Sir,
Hanggang sa katapusan nga ng Abril, nung in-issue yung accreditation sa amin, dahil nga wala pa kami accreditation, hindi namin natatanggap yung datos. Okay? And we're left with, what? How many days? Less than 2 weeks na lang to prepare our systems. Pangalawa, yung datos na ibinibigay sa amin, printed copy. Okay? Medyo mahirap kung magre-rely kami sa printed copy. Pa-encode namin. Prone to errors din ang encoding. No? Ang hinihingi namin ay digital version ng data. Okay? Second category, information about all candidates. For example, yung certificates of candidacy ng mga kandidato. No? Para masabi niya, para makapagbigay kami ng information nga doon sa mga botante, sino ba yung kandidatong ito? No? Wala rin yun. Third category, yung mga post-election reports. Kasi may mga activities na ginagawa sa paghahanda, katulad ng TEC, yung Technical Evaluation Committee reports, yung reports ng International Certification Entity, yung reports ng Local Source Code Reviewers. Hinihingi namin din yung mga reports na para ma-post nga sa website at maging public. The fourth category is yung logs ng lahat ng makina. Voting machine, canvassing machine, lahat ng servers na ginamit kung saan dumaan nyo, including yung logs ng telco providers.
Sir, in previous elections, did you ask for access to the logs?
2013 accreditation namin, we were accredited to receive the logs from the voting machines. What we did this time is to expand yung coverage.
2016, did you get it?
No.
Did you ask for it?
Yes.
Ano pong explanation ng 2016?
Wala po. Kahit itong they just kept silent about the request for data, walang rason na binigay.
Pero hindi po kayo umatras noong 2016 as citizens arm?
Because we had access to the transparency server.
And you don't have that now?
No.
Isn't it enough that PPCRD as another citizen's arm has access to that?
Again, a lot of parties, PPCRD, including media, receive the election returns, no, from the transparency server, and it's backup. It's now called the media server. Everybody's doing that. That's fine. Okay, we don't need to do that. The reason why we are asking for those data again is kaakibat siya ng gagawin sana namin sa RNA. We wanted independent validation. No? Base dun nga sa mga datos na hinihingi namin.
Lagman, what can change your mind now? Without any changes coming from the COMELEC side, yung from the NAMFREL side.
Mayroon magbago yung aming decision kung hindi naman magbabago ang decision ng COMELEC. In other words, it stands that we don't need the accreditation. They're not going to give us the data anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, sorry, clarify lang. Sir, may legal basis po ba yung request nyo for open data? May legal basis? Because yung mga pagbibigay sa inyo ng election returns, those are in the law. What about yung sa open system, sir? May legal basis po ba for you to request?
Wala siyang specific legal basis because those are technical information na that's generated by the automated election system. Okay? Ang may legal basis, for example, is yung kung kanino ni-release, for example, yung business continuity plan. No? So, ine-expand ko lamang kung ano yung provided by the law, no, on what data we can get. Now, even if the system logs are not among the data that is explicitly provided by law, there is also no prohibition for us to request for it. There is no prohibition in the law that it cannot be released.
If I may add sa sinabi ni Lito kanina, sa tanong ng Katamalaya, no? Meron ding legal basis yung Technical Evaluation Committee certification. Noong April 8, during the Technical Working Group hearing ng Joint Congressional Oversight Committee, sinabi doon ng Technical TEC Chairman, si Peter Banso, na isasabit nila yung TEC certification. Pero until now, wala pa. Doon sa continuity, no, sa business continuity plan, isasabit na rin daw at that particular meeting. Pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa. May legal basis yung sinasabi ni Lito. No? So, until now, wala. Yung local source code review, no, ang sinasabi ng Commission on Election last week, sinasabi nila yung local source code review ng CCS, yung Consolidation and Canvassing System, ilagay na dun sa Bangko Sentral. What about the local source code review ng BCNs? At saka kung ano pa, wala pa hanggang ngayon yun.
So hindi compliant?
Hindi compliant. Ano?
Yung TEC certification, yung Technical Evaluation Certification, that is embedded in the law.
Yeah.
Na kailangan i-certify
Yes.
ito a few days.
3 months before the elections, ang sabi sa batas, Section 11, na yung Technical Evaluation Committee through the assistance of the international certification entity at this point in time, it was Pro-VND. February 13, 3 months before the elections, wala akong binigay ang Technical Evaluation Committee. Wala eh.
So walang ganyan certification?
Walang certification. Ngayon, hinihintay
And yet that is required in the automated
That is required
election.
by the law.
Therefore, kung hindi nila binigay, this is
They're violating it.
violation of the law.
That's already non-compliance of the law.
Not compliance with the law. So, ayun, so many other things pa na nakikita natin. Hence, our petition sa Supreme Court na kung pwede, utusan.
Kaya tama yung
COMELEC
sinasabi
comply with
ng
the law.
NAMFREL. Tama yung hinihingi nila. Kasi may basis yun sa batas.
So, that's the answer sa question mo. So, let's ask our friend from Inquirer. Can you ask any? Yeah? Okay. Any friends from the media would like to ask clarify things here.
If I may add, Doc
Yes,
Mike,
yes, Prof.
remember in 2004, it should have been automated. Di ba? In 2004 elections natin, dapat automated yun. Ano ba yung ginawa ng Commission on Elections noon? Nag-implement sila ng digital signatures. Nandun pa sa batas yun? Wala. Yung Republic Act 8436, no? Yun ang original na batas. Kasi yung 9369 is just the amended law, no? 8436. Kailan na-enact yung batas? 1997.
2007.
Tapos 2007, yung amendment. So yung 8436 ng 1997, wala nakalagay doon na digital signing. Pero anong ginawa ng Commission on Election? Nag-implement sila kasi naniniwala sila, dahil marami silang mga lawyers doon, naniniwala sila dapat mag-comply ang Commission on Election sa Republic Act 8792, which is the e-commerce law. Sabi ng Commission on Elections, hindi, implement natin yung digital signing kasi nasa batas yun, ha? Nandun sa Republic Act 8792. Kahit wala yan, sa batas na Republic Act 8436 ng 1997, sabi ng Commission on Election, i-implement natin.
Na-implement?
In-implement nila yun. Kaya lang,
Anong year yun?
2003. Kaya lang, sabi ng Supreme Court, i-hold na natin yung automation noong 2000. Para doon sa 2004. Pero
2003.
in-implement nila yun, ha? And nagkaroon pa na training ang Commission on Elections on the use of digital signing. Sino yung nag-support sa kanila? EPLDT, subsidiary company ng PLDT.
If you're talking about 2003,
2003, alam na alam ng Commission on Elections ang digital signing. Bakit di nila in-implement sa 2008, 10, 2013, and 2016? Malaking question yan. Bakit in-implement na? So, nagko-contradict yung Commission on Elections nung magmula ng 2008 dun sa mga commissioners at saka yung head noon noong 2003. So may conflict sila. No? Naniniwala yung Commission on Elections sometime na 2003 sa digital signing. Eh bakit itong mga commissioners ngayon at saka itong chairman, magmula kay Abbas, kay Bautista, kay Brillantes, at saka kay Melo, bakit kinokontradict nila yung mga ideas ng mga dating mga commissioners? Bakit? Dahil nandun yung smartmatic.
now, very important ito compliance with the law, basically. And gusto lang natin i-clarify again that baka mag-feel ng COMELEC na talagang dinidikit natin sila, etc. No. COMELEC is our friend.
Yeah.
COMELEC is our COMELEC.
Yeah.
COMELEC, kailangan suportahan natin yung right use ng mga moves ng COMELEC. Because kahit hindi perfect yung COMELEC, we only have one COMELEC. And that is tasked to do the election. Let us help COMELEC perform their job. Hindi tayo kalaban ng COMELEC. Dapat lahat ng Filipino should rally behind COMELEC so that the righteous thing na ginagawa ng COMELEC will be implemented. Hindi natin kinakalaban yung COMELEC. Mahal natin yung righteousness ng COMELEC na gusto nilang gawin. Di ba? So, these are not chismis. Ito sinasabi ni Professor Celis, digital signatures. 2003, at ang data pala sila, implement nila dapat. Eh bakit ngayon ayaw na?
They contradict each other.
So, these are things na eye-opener na, pero bottom line here is this, no? Pinag-uusapan natin ito. Bakit natin pinag-uusapan ito? Dahil gusto natin tulungan yung COMELEC to perform the righteous task of making sure that this election is going to be clean, honest, and transparent. The word transparent is very important. Kasi nakalagay yan sa batas, di ba? Yung transparency, basically. So anyway, last word from ito mga idol ko to Idol! So last word from our friends from NAMFREL. Sasama na yung mata sa Balota sa NAMFREL, mag-apply na kami sa inyo. Chairman?
Uli
uulitin ko lang dahil yun ang gusto kong i-emphasize, no? Na ang puno-tuloy itong problema natin ay dahil in-automate natin ang precinct counting. Na sa maraming bansa ay inaabandon na. No? Ang palagi sinasabi nila, ang precinct counting dapat nawi-witness. Hindi lang nawi-witness, na o iintindihan ng mga butante. Ano ba ang inihahaba ng ating eleksyon dahil meron tayong precinct counting? Siguro matagal na 1 day. Yun lang ang ihahaba. So nangangahulugan, mura din ang pag-i-implement niyan. So, bakit hindi nila gawin? Dahil hindi nila ginawa, in-automate ang precinct counting, we spent billions of pesos. And more important, nawala ang transparency ng eleksyon. Isinubong mo yung balota doon sa makina, hindi mo na alam kung anong nangyari. Dapat yan, nakikita ng mga botante doon sa presinto kung paano binibilang yung kanilang mga balota. Yun ang isang nawala yung transparency.
Idol ito?
Idols ko.
Okay. Yung ating mga projects sa NAMFREL nga, yung line is for greater transparency. Because that, transparency actually is rooted on the people's right to know. No? So yun yung hinihingi namin. Itong tungkol naman doon sa RMA, no, hindi kami umaatras nung na ayaw namin gawin. Sinasabi namin, gagawin namin yan. Humihingi lang kami ng access to additional data so that we can independently validate. Why do we have that independent validation? Again, NAMFREL for so many years values and takes pride in its independence and non-partisan stance. Kaya nag-ooperate kami dun sa value na yun. No? Kaya nga hinihingi namin yung mga datos para mapag-aralan independently.
Thank you. Isang idol ko rin po. Idol sa
Ako sinusuportahan ko yung NAMFREL. Ikaw gusto mo, maybe.
Apply na nga ako eh.
NAMFREL ano rin ako, naging NAMFREL volunteer din ako eh. No? Kaya yung sinasabi ng NAMFREL, tama lang mo yun kasi unang-una, nung umupo si Presidente Digo, ano yung sinasabi niya? Aaprobahan ko yan, freedom of information. Ano yung ginawa niya? Executive order, freedom of information. Yung bang hinihingi ng NAMFREL, meron bang national security concern doon? Wala. So, tuparin lang natin yung sinasabi ni Presidente Dico. Patupad natin yung FOI na executive order ni Presidente. Yun lang, napakasimple. Wala akong national security concern dyan. Yun lang, Doc Mike.
Can we use the executive order na pinirmahan ni Presidente Duterte on this request? Yung freedom of information.
I don't think the executive order of the freedom of information covers executive agencies of the government. The commission, among others, is a constitutional body.
Wala naman national
But of course, there's nothing stopping them from complying. Providing them. There's no reason to withhold the information.
Oh, walang national security concern doon, ano, Doc Mike?
So anyway, we're still, anyway, ang pinakamaganda dito is open ang puso ng NAMFREL for
Doc Mike, di ba sinasabi mo, lalapit tayo kay Presidente?
Yes po.
Pwede ba naman natin i-invoke yung FOI?
Why not? No? As a matter of fact, Mata sa Balota is going to write officially the President on issues of election this coming Monday. We're going to release this letter in an open appeal to the President, no? So that the Filipino people can see what we're fighting for. So, siguro Thursday or Friday, we will publish this in a full-page ad in one major newspaper. Lahat na ito. Mamili tayo ng national broadsheet na ipapalabas natin ito. Appeal natin ng Presidente. We will do that. And, pero, again, alam mo na makulit ko, no? Makulit ako. Pero alam nyo, mahal natin yung COMELEC. contrary to impressions na inaaway natin yun, mahal natin yung righteousness ng COMELEC. Hindi perfect ang COMELEC, but we only have one COMELEC. That's the only agency tasked by the Constitution to conduct election. Huwag natin sulugin. Tulungan natin yung COMELEC, yung righteous portion ng COMELEC. So with that, maraming salamat sa lahat and I will see you next Tuesday ulit sa tapos ng election, Monday election, Tuesday, magkakaroon tayo ng wrap-up. You can see us at www.matasabalota.org or Facebook us at Matasabalota 2019. No? So you can also see all these things sa Clean Air Philippines Facebook page, Facebook us, FB us at Clean Air Philippines. Maraming salamat sa lahat and mga idol, maraming salamat. Thank you for really being with us this morning. Maraming bagay na na-clarify natin. Thank you po. Thank you.